Welcome, everybody. Let's go Niners. My name is Jason Aponte. What's up, 49er fans? Jason Aponte back. Game day, Seattle week. And while you guys are here, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for when we go live. Inactive report is out. Obviously, George Kittle, which is something that Adam Schefter tweeted, is not going to be playing. Daniel Brunskill is also out. And Danny Gray is actually going to suit up. TDP is going to suit up. So we are about to see what this backfield will look like fully with the third-round pick. And now we're going to see what Danny Gray can bring to this offense in better conditions. As everybody's known all week, it was supposed to rain. It just feels windy at this point, apparently. But, you know, the rain should subside, come on and off. It'll definitely look nothing like what we saw earlier last week against the Bears. So, yeah, look, it boils down to this. And this is not being overconfident, anything like that. And this may sound like an oversimplification of things, but the 49ers just have to play their game, not shoot themselves in the foot, not penalize themselves, and they'll be fine in this game. I really, really feel better the more and more I think about it, especially after watching the way that Seattle performed and how they won their game, which is literally the opposite of how the 49ers lost their game. Literally, Denver and San Francisco played the same type of game where they penalized themselves over and over. So, yeah, it's something that if the 49ers, all they have to do is just straight up, like, play their game and not make any mistakes, then there shouldn't be any issues. So, yeah, after this, I'll probably be on for about 30 minutes. If you guys want to tap in with us on Get Playback, make sure you go to Get Playback /rooms /Niners Nation. That's where Vish, Akash, and I will be calling the game on there. If you want to watch the game with us, that's where we'll be doing it. And also for you guys who are looking to actually, you know, make some money, Underdog Fantasy, promo code Aponte, double your first deposit. So, yeah, look, the defense is going to be fine in this game. Everybody is going to be up and healthy. No worries on that side. I mean, when you look at the way that Seattle moved the ball in week one, it was very much here, there, nothing down the field. It was one throw, I believe, that he had 33 air yards. I'm talking about Geno Smith. So, yeah, it's something that if the 49ers swarm to the ball, they don't commit silly penalties in terms of roughing the passer, unsportsmanlike conduct, anything like that, it's not really going to be too much of an issue. I think the biggest thing that we are focused on right now, or the one thing that we really don't know, is how this backfield is going to shape out. I mean, clearly it's about to be Jeff Wilson, but, you know, TDP being up, Jordan Mason being up, you know, this hot hand thing that goes around, you know how Kyle Shanahan is. I think right now what you're going to see is Jeff Wilson start, but if he's not effective, then they're going to move to one of these guys and see what they can do. But a lot of that hinges on pass protection. I want you guys to know, like, if you guys are sitting there and seeing Jeff Wilson on the field over and over, and he may not be ripping off run after run, and you're wondering, well, he doesn't look good, it's pass pro. And it's more about really right there what Kyle wants and what Kyle trusts. So, again, you can run the ball as best you can. You can catch the ball as best you can. You mess up on pass pro, that's really going to be where you stay on the field. And that's where I really think the trust factor comes in. So I expect Jeff Wilson. I expect Debo. I expect both of those guys to handle it. You'll probably see something similar to what you saw with Debo, 6, 7, 8 carries in that way. So, yeah, it should look similar to that. But I think what everybody's looking for is who's going to be the guy who eventually strangleholds this starting position. Obviously, you put that in quotations because of how quickly things move, and who's to say, you know, Jeff Wilson's a starter, but that doesn't mean that he's going to be the best running back there. It might be Debo Samuel. So all of those things are going to work. Obviously, George Kittle not being there is something that you want to be concerned about in terms of the running game. I'm not overly concerned about, you know, his injury. I think, you know, you can get away with this. I would much rather see him in week 3. Like, if you have to sacrifice him not being on the field for this one to get him to play in Denver, you do that 10 out of 10 times. I don't really think that you at all worry about that in any way. So Daniel asks, should I start Wilson over Mason? I would. I mean, if you guys have an extra spot, pick up Mason and just throw him in there and let him sit. I mean, you can't start him with any sort of confidence. You can't bank on him. You are taking a chance with Jeff Wilson, but he's got the best shot in the beginning. So, yeah, if you've got Jordan Mason, just hold on to him, because if he pops off and this is the week, then all of a sudden everybody's going to run to the waiver wire and they're going to see, oh, wait, he's at the end of my bench. So, you know, there's how you play this one. I would not be playing anybody aside from Jeff Wilson at this point. There's not even really a clear passing down guy, right? Like Jermichael Hasty was that. He's not here anymore. He's in Jacksonville while they're boat racing the Colts. It's more about what you know, and what you know is that Jeff Wilson's going to get the start. I can't bank myself. I had this question asked to me a few times via text. Hey, should I just roll with Mason? I heard what you said about him. Yeah, I think Mason looks great, but I'm not about to hinge my week on Jordan Mason. And if Jeff Wilson busts, that's fine, but you got to play the odds, and that's the best way to do it. So, yeah, I'm not really, again, back to Kittle. I mean, there's just a lot of things being thrown out now. And, look, we live in the age of instant overreactions, right? And I'm trying to curb myself from doing that as well, too. You're seeing things about trade Kittle now, or, he's not playing because of Jimmy. Look, come on, man. You know the guy wants to play football, right? If you want to question, him being healthy, that's one thing. But don't ever question if he wants to play. He wants to play. And, you've heard Colin John say we need to save Kittle from himself. If you believe that Kittle doesn't want to be out there, I'll let you just believe that. I can't even begin to comprehend what it means to think that and where you would get to that conclusion. If the guy was trying to play, I'm sure he was. I don't think anything of it other than get this guy ready for week 3. You can win this game. If the 49ers lose this game to Seattle, it's not going to be because George Kittle didn't play. Let's just say that. There's much bigger problems than George Kittle not being there. People want to see him on there because it's just a general anxiety with 49er fans whenever Seattle's in town, even though Russell Wilson's not here anymore. It's PTSD. They've been the boogeyman, but you don't want to overlook them. But at the same time, if the 49ers lose to Seattle, it's not because George Kittle didn't play. It's not. It's bigger things. It's either the defense blew it or the offense isn't working. We're not going to be able to point to a 49ers loss and say George Kittle not playing is the reason that they didn't play. And that's not to say that George Kittle is insignificant in any way. No, obviously, you want an all-world tight end out there. I'm just saying if this team is what we think they are, they should beat the Seattle Seahawks regardless of whether George Kittle plays or not. It's the best way I can put it. I know the guy wants to be out there, and anybody trying to speculate as to him not being out there because of this reason or that reason, he wants to play. Come on, man. So, yeah, almost 10 minutes in, guys. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for when we go live. Get Playback is where we'll be when kickoff happens. We'll be on there, me, Akash, and Vish. And then right after, right back for the post game to talk about, oh my goodness, the comments are out of control, to talk about this one and how it goes. But I expect the 49ers win. I've got a 27-14. I have a tough time figuring out how Seattle's going to score points in this game, aside from coverage busts, or, third downs being, third down penalties that extend drives, things like that. So, yeah, I don't really see how this happens. And I think that Vegas giving 9.5, they kind of feel the same exact way. And I feel like anybody who watched week 1 on both sides, you can draw this conclusion yourself too. I mean, Denver fumbled twice on the goal line. Those should have been 14 points. They penalized themselves more than the 49ers did. They had 106 penalty yards. And then let's not forget, the coach takes a 64-yarder. So, yeah, I mean, look, don't overthink it. I know the anxiety because you see the other team over there and the heartbreak the 49er fans have had to endure at the hands of Seattle. But don't overthink it. Look at the roster. Look at the coaching. Look at the quarterbacks. I think you'll be fine. I think you'll start to forget. This defensive line is going to eat. That Seattle offensive line was getting worked last week. And that was behind a very good defense, which Denver has. But the 49ers have a better defense, in my opinion. So this should be a good game for everybody to bounce back. Expect Nick Bosa to have a big game. Expect Eric Armstead to have a big game. Expect Jay Jackson to pop off on third down. So, yeah, I understand because I think 49er fans have been burned past week, right? With overlooking, which, my stance on it. You can do whatever you want as fans, right? You're not playing the game. If they lose, it's not because you as a fan overlook them. But I think the 49er fans are taking the cautiously optimistic approach as opposed to, look, week 1 was what it was. But when you look at this game, you look at it down the middle, it really doesn't have too many ways to go for the 40. It has to go extremely poorly for the 49ers to lose this game. The worst. They have to play worse than they did against the Bears, in my opinion. So, yeah, I think it's going to be fine. And then when you look at, I've documented the week 1 struggles for Kyle Shanahan teams. It's well known. But then the week 2 about face is literally a team that is crisp, comes out, does their thing. This is where they are. This is what Kyle Shanahan's teams do. I expect that to happen again. So, yeah, I mean, we've been burned the last 27 years. The smoke is on fire, man. No pun intended, but yes, there's not too many ways for this game to go poorly unless the 49ers completely implode. Now, is that on the table? Yeah, but it's not a high likely. In the realm of possibilities, that is not likely. I expect the 49ers to come out, and I expect them to put up a hell of an effort and put this game away fairly early. And it's hard to look at that roster, this roster, and say, yeah, you're afraid because Seattle used to beat them when Russell Wilson was there. It's still Geno Smith. And props to Geno Smith. I think he converted all his opportunities. He was great on Monday night, but it's still Geno Smith. It's still this roster. It's still that offensive line. And this team is still better. Now, yeah, obviously last year you could have said that. They lost both those games. Obviously, the circumstances between those games were weird. The one thing that I will say is this, and this is the one part that not is a fear, but they should be concerned with. Seattle's going to empty the bag as they did in that last year's game. What I mean by that is the fake punt. Like, you have to look out for that stuff. You have to look out for the trick plays. You have to look out for them using the 49ers aggressiveness against them. And that's really what the only thing that they can do, Seattle, really to kind of change this or even the odds. They have to even the odds somehow, right? So how do you do that? You run a fake punt on fourth down, which gains a bunch of yards, which leads to points, or you run a trick play that catches the defense off guard. Like, those are the things that the 49ers are going to have to look out for, because straight up offense, Seattle against this defense, it's not going to work, and it's not going to go their way. Like, it just not. They're not. If you watch them in week one, you saw that defense contain them. You're going to see this defense do the same, if not more. I think this defensive line is going to eat, man. E-double asks, how do you watch on Get Playback? You just jump into the room and you sign in with your TV provider. That's it. And you're all set. And then you can watch with us. So I'm nobody you need to know says, watching the All-22 last night, Trey only had 2 bad plays to overthrow to Croft. He rushed the ball out because the defender was an inch from him. I'm nobody you need to know. I want you to change your name because you definitely are somebody we need to know. But I think that it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. We're just never going to see that league play ever get hit. Doesn't matter if it's Mullins, Garoppolo, Lance. It's just, as 49er fans, we get treated to such good play design that it's like, you can't have it all. You get the play design, you get it wide open. You're just not going to be able to convert that. And it's just none of the quarterbacks can at this point. It's good mentorship from Jimmy Garoppolo to make sure that he didn't hit that, because he rarely hit that, if at all. All right. Emilio says the Niners have the special teams coordinator, Schneider, I believe his name is. Yeah, that dialed the fake punt, but will Kyle give something like that a green point? I don't know. I think green light. Okay, a green light. No, I don't think so. I don't think they need to do that. They don't need to do that. Unless if the offense is struggling or something like that and they try to pull out something like that, I think that speaks more to his confidence in the offense or than anything, because the defense is going to be fine. Like, if you can punt the ball, you just signed a punter for 4 more years. Make him punt the ball and make him put it actually like in a bad spot for the defense and for the offense, and make your defense play. I wouldn't worry about that. Yeah. So since your punter's here, use him. Don't get me started on that. Rick Diaz says, Jason, good afternoon. Jason, what's going on, buddy? Call neighbors, call Niners gold. San Francisco 49ers. Yeah. So, yeah. All right. You know what? Let me put up I have it here. Give me 1 sec. This is the link to get in to watch. This is where you would watch the game. That's it. Just get in there. And that's where but you have to sign in with your TV provider. Otherwise, the screen goes black and you just have to watch, Vish, me, and Akash call it while you try to figure out what's going on the screen. So, yeah, again, you really don't have to overthink this one. I really don't think you do. I think that a lot of people became wary once they saw, oh, man, Seattle just beat Denver. Well, we got to watch out. But when you watch the circumstances of how they won, you really can draw the same conclusion that you can from week one. Like, if you looked at that 49ers game and you said that was still the better team, that's the same way that you walked out of that week one game. I mean, they outgained them by almost 200 yards. They outpenalized themselves. Everything. They ran everything, and they were higher in every statistical category except for the score, which is the one that matters. But the circumstances around it will lead you to believe that, yeah, Denver's still a very good team, and Seattle's just not a good team at this point. So, yeah. Bay Area Ray says, does it work with YouTube TV? It does. Paul asks, as a person who lives in the Pacific Northwest, I will relish this victory if we get it. I honestly need it so badly after last week. Paul, You and I both, man. I think everybody needs it. I think the entire fan base needs this win. Wouldn't necessarily call it a must win for the 49ers, but I'd like them to have it, especially with Denver going into next week. But this fan base needs it, man. This fan base needs it so they can chill out, man. And we could really use a good Trey Lance performance in this game, which I believe he will, because it'll at least slow the national media down. It'll at least slow the naysayers on Twitter. It'll at least slow people down just a little bit. So, yeah. EW is right there on the screen. That's the link. That's how you get in. Thank you for the donation, though. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, it'll at least keep people at bay, right? Because I was literally just watching the Pittsburgh and New England game. Mac looks like crap on certain throws. Like, you should have had another interception. He threw another interception. The Nelson Aguilar ball, I hate to say this, but Akilla Weatherspoon got mossed. Nice play by Aguilar, but yeah, like, everybody is going through it. Trevor Lawrence is like boat racing the Colts right now. Cool, that's what's up. Justin Fields is about to go on national TV tonight against the Green Bay Packers. We'll see. So it's crazy how everybody else is just getting all these passes, and everybody's kind of making excuses for Mac. Well, the play calling, his weapons. Oh, okay, but like, you would never say anything about that with Trey, right? So it's just, again, everybody who is making the most noise are the people who want their priors confirmed, and they believe that they're being confirmed with one game, which is the wildest theory ever. So again, it's too early to panic, but this is 49er land. You know what it is, with overreactions and everything as well too. So yeah, to chill out is the perfect way to put it. This fan base is on constant meltdown mode since the NFC Championship game. Oh, here we go. Peyton McDermott says Brad just tweeted that Jordan Mason is rotating with the starters. Makes me think that he's going to be the first one up instead of TDP. I like that. I like that a lot. So, yeah, again, am I banking on Jordan Mason to start and put him in? No, but I definitely want him on my roster in fantasy and just keep him at the bottom. So that's it, man. Double B Studio says this game is a must win because the next 3 games the Niners face, this team needs momentum or they will be 0-5. They have a chance to be 0-5. I mean, wouldn't it be the funniest thing to go 0-2 against Seattle, then go into Denver and beat Denver, then beat the Rams? And just like, that would be like insane. But again, so week to week, I think everybody would chill out just a little bit more if this team wins. It doesn't matter how they win. People will nitpick it. Let's say the 49ers go down and they need like a field goal at the end of the game to win it. Oh, well, you shouldn't need to struggle like that. Who cares? Right now, this team just needs to get a win at this point. And again, like a lot of the people that have their Trey Lance narratives, once Trey Lance whips up on them, yeah, I'm getting a little bit more bold now that we're talking. Once Trey Lance whips on them and they win this game, well, it's just Seattle. Wait for it. Just wait for it. It's literally going to be the excuse. Well, it was just Seattle. Let's see him do it again against Denver. So again, don't listen to those people because they're always going to find a way to spin it, and they just want their priors confirmed. That's it, man. Like, it's the best way to put it. It's the weirdest thing to watch, and I don't know. I mean, aside from Lamar, I don't remember a quarterback getting this much hate. Like, and Raul, this is fair because of who you're facing. This was who's a bottom rung team. Let's see. If it was the Atlanta Falcons, I don't think you would be nearly as nervous. But it's the Seattle Seahawks, and that's why you feel that way. So yeah, I don't blame you necessarily, but I would tell you to loosen up a little bit. I think this team has got this, man. I think they got this one. So, Steven says, all I can say is the season just started. I will give them a few games before I decide on Trey Lance. That's fair. That's fair. I'm going to give him much more time. I've got years to give him, but that's fair. At least you said, I'm going to give him games. See, this is the part about quarterback evaluating that people forget. It's not said and done right now. What everybody should be doing is gathering information. That's all you should be doing at this point. Not making any sweeping statements, game to game, making your analysis and writing everything down and gathering your information. What this kid looks like in week 2 will not be what he looks like in week 17. I guarantee that. And that is when you should really start making statements at week 17. Okay, this is what I saw the entire year. This is where he improved. It's not going to be a stat line that's going to tell you a successful season. It's not going to be a win total either that's going to tell you a successful season. What you want to see is the incremental steps, him in the pocket, him going through progressions, him layering balls like he did to Ray McLeod, him making the right reads, pre-snap, post-snap, all those things. All those things are going to show you where he is at the end of the season. Not a stat line, not any sort of win total. That's it. It's just as simple as that. Like, I want everybody to start to properly evaluate people without shooting from the hip after one half, one game, one quarter, one series. Like it's got to be more in depth than that. It has to be so much more than that. So yeah, it's just strange that people are ready to run like with everything. So Dawson, don't worry about it, man. TDP's gonna see the field today. I promise you, man. I know it's your boy from LSU, man. LSU boys, I get it. That's your boy, but he'll be all right, man. He's gonna play, and it's a good problem to have, right? Like you draft somebody in the 3rd round, and he might see the field, but you have an undrafted free agent who's balling, and he might see the field. It's a good problem to have. All right, 20 minutes in, guys. 100 people in here. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for when we go live. Get Playback is where we will be when kickoff happens. Here's the link. Make sure you guys tap in. Me, Vish, and Akash will be giving you our Manning cast of the game. And then right after, right back here to the channel for instant reaction, level-headed instant reaction. Jason Aponte is sober on a Sunday. So you may want spicy, but you may not get it. Like it just may not happen. I might be talking that shit if the 49ers win or when they win, but I don't know about spicy, man. It might be out the window. I'm sorry, guys. I know you like that, but yeah. Paul Madison says, I want to watch Trey have a full game with all the starts in a game, not played in the middle of the Grand Lakes before judging. Imagine that. Pretty fair. Like it's hard to throw footballs in a pool. It's hard to play football in a pool. So yeah, no, man. No. The Henny save for after dark, after streams. the night is when I come alive. That's the best way I can say it. Emiliano says, man, if Danny Jones ends up beating Baker, the media is going to have a field day until they get to hold to whatever Lance does, good or bad. Yeah. What's funny is a lot. I've seen the Trey Lance and Josh Allen thing being thrown out there for the people who actually are trying to be level-headed, right? And I love it. And it's just something that we've been saying. Like, I think it was me and Croc were talking about it, a while ago when we were talking about development and everything. And the lesson isn't Trey Lance is going to turn into Josh Allen. The lesson is stick with the kid and you will be able to reap some sort of benefit as opposed to immediately making some decision that's rash at this point. So that's the point, right? Now, obviously, the two situations aren't really the same. The Bills were completely rebuilding. This team is a Super Bowl roster for what everybody knows is a Super Bowl roster. So that plus it being the San Francisco 49ers quarterback, it all heightens the situation. So it's not apples to apples. And the one lesson you should take from Josh Allen or the people around Josh Allen is always going to be patience, just patience. And they did it. Look, Josh Allen, his first few starts, there would be a guy 5 yards in front of him wide open. He would throw it in the stands. Like, it was that bad. A lot of people made fun of him, and they just said, man, look at this, ha, ha, ha. And look, right? So certain things can be taught, certain things can't. Sometimes he makes some throws, but he makes some otherworldly throws. But I don't want 49er fans to get wrapped up on the idea that Trey Lance is going to be Josh Allen, because I think that's disrespectful to what Josh Allen is, and that's something that's different. It's otherworldly at times. It's not fair to tell Trey Lance, hey, we need you to be Josh Allen. He doesn't need to be Josh Allen. He doesn't need to be Josh Allen. He just got to give you a little bit more than the guy ahead of you, behind him, before him. And then you go from there and keep taking your steps. If he ends up somewhere like a Donovan McNabb type, this team is going to win Super Bowls. They are, man. And I know people take that as an insult, and I don't know why, or something that they don't want. I don't know why. I understand. You moved up to 3. You want this kid to be a superstar, but he doesn't necessarily have to be a top 5, top 10 guy for them to win. He can be a top 12 to 15 guy, and they can win, man. They really can. Just make plays when you're asked to, make plays when you need to. And if you grow into that guy, then God help everybody else. That's it. Just go from there and just move. You just want to see incremental steps every single year, every single game, every single series, every single rep. That's it. I'm trying to preach patience with everybody, because a lot of people are like, well, you dumped this kid and now you guys are preaching patience, but you didn't preach patience with Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't have to be patient with a veteran, with an 8-year veteran. I don't have to be patient with him because he's a veteran. He didn't walk into this league as a 49er. He was on teams. He had played football before. He played a few years before the 49ers made the Super Bowl. So I don't have to be patient with Jimmy Garoppolo. He is what he is. You have to be patient with a kid who not only is about to start his first back-to-back game since 2019, but is 22 years old. It is nowhere near apples to apples in this. It's apples and oranges at this point. I don't know how I got onto this whole Trey Lance thing, but yeah, look, Dawson, if Trey Lance is an athletic Kirk Cousins, the 49ers are going to win Super Bowls, man. I'm telling you, like, it doesn't necessarily have to be what you guys need it to be. Like, a lot of 49er fans are wrapped up in having a top 5 quarterback as opposed to understanding that he doesn't need to be that for them to be successful. I don't care about having a top 5 quarterback. I care about winning. That's it. And if he's going to help win, he can and he will, as long as he's put in the right spots and he continues to grow. This is not done after 1 year. You're going to see next year. You're going to see the year after. That's when you're going to be able to know. 3 years in is when we'll have a clear idea of who he is. So yeah, 25 minutes in, 110 people in here. Make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for when we go live. Probably gonna stick around for like 4 or 5 minutes. Any other questions that you guys have for me before I go, I will take them, but I got to get ready to get into Get Playback. You see the link down here, getplayback.com/room/Niners Nation. Me, Akash, Vish, 2 of the smartest guys out there, and just me yelling into the damn camera is what you can expect at this point. Rich Madrid is not going to be there this time. He is actually at the game. And wouldn't you know it, it's raining. So if you want to blame anybody for the rain, make sure you guys tweet at Rich J Madrid and tell him he's a bozo and tell him that he brought the rain with him, as he usually does, because he's been to 2 straight games and all it has done is rain. So yeah. But yeah, look, the Kittle thing, just get him ready for next week. They don't need him to win this game. If they can't win the game and George Kittle's the reason, they've got bigger problems. Just get ready for Denver. That's the thing. Right now, what you want to see is you know this defense is going to play well. Interested to see how Emmanuel Mosley and Ward look on Lockett and DK. That's important. And I want to make sure that the running back situation starts to shake out a little bit more. Jeff Wilson will probably get the first few reps, but hearing Brad say that Jordan Mason is actually getting some of the first reps makes me feel really, really good, man. I really like that. Shout out to SoCal Niner fan. Yo, watch out for Gabe Davis, man. He popped up on the injury report. If you're thinking about playing him, I don't know, man. A Friday injury on a sprained ankle, it doesn't sound good. So let's see, man. I just want you to be careful. Make sure that you got a backup plan just in case. You might have to look into that other Monday night game. So yeah, you know what? I think this is a good place to leave it. Shout out to everybody that was in here, man. Appreciate you guys. And yeah, shut down the short game from Geno and we win. That's it. Tackle. Do not penalize yourself and make sure that you already made the change. Good job. And make sure that you execute. That's it. It's as simple as that. They're not better than you. Play like you're better than them. That's it. So again, thank you guys for tapping in with me. Make sure that you guys hit Get Playback when kickoff goes on so you can watch with us, and then hit right back to the channel right after for the post-game show. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for when we go live. Shout out to everybody in here. Shout out to the faithful that are at the game. Enjoy the game. Shout out to all you guys watching the game at home. Have a blast. Get ready for a win. And maybe we'll take some victory shots when I see you guys later on the post-game show. So, yeah. Peace. Welcome, everybody. Let's go, Niners. My name is Jason Aponte.